wanalipisha 20 shillings wakati huo na walilete
kila siku
my friend. Baka mwingine anakimbia kwenda kuleta mishale, mwingine anakuleta mkuki. Mimi ni hivi tu, baka mguu na nyorosha hivi kidogo.
Hautaki mtu karibu na mashini yako.
Hapana, wasijue. Sina nimekuja kujua na wakanipeleka out of business. Hata sio hiyo mimi kwa. Ile bucket ilijaa 20 na 55 ile unajua ile 55 ile kobole.
Yes.
Ile akibaki yenye ilikuwa inaonekana ikuwe na hata itastua watoto. Ile kona 5
ilikuwa Moi na Kenyatta.
Silikuwa zimejaa bucket mzima. Kubaba siku hiyo ndio utajua mashilingi na kwa mzito. But unfortunately there was a sanction from IMF, International Mother and Father, International Monetary Fund. So Moi did not increase taxes. Instead, he decided to focus on education, commercialization of education. So he started commercializing education. Once then you are paying for degrees at a price that varied from one degree to another, where medicine was 600,000 per year and anthropology is 30,000 per year, then a poor child with an A, because of lack of money, his A will become a C. A rich kid with a C, topping up with money, become an A, because he can afford to study medicine. Tengeneza nyumba juu ya miti, iko kangazi naekelewa pale, iko na bathroom, iko na choo, iko na kitanda huko juu. Once ukiingia, because it is called the lover's nest, natoa hiyo ngazi. Kwa sababu pia wasichana wamekula fare kwa muda mrefu. Sasa pale lazima wakae mpaka asubuhi. Mwenye amelipa hiyo nyumba ndiye ataitisha hiyo ngazi.
Wadau, alafu kabla tuzame kwa conversation, if you believe this is your ear ya kubuild, then this message is for you. Please allow me to plug you to K&K Precast Engineering to introduce you to a concept where you can build better and spend less. Now, with the technology that K&K Precast Engineering wanatumia, you get the same quality as traditional housing or even better. In fact, kwa structure you can save up to 30% on costs. Halafu kwa wale wamekuwa kistruggle na black cotton soil au sijui ngoa foundation, sijui chimba mchanga, toa yote, this suspended foundation ya K&K Precast Engineering solve that for you. Sasa precast ni nini? Unaona bridges zinatengenezwa, wanatengeneza concrete kando, inashikanishwa na chuma ndani, proper reinforcement, wanakuja wanaekelea. Expressway imetengenezwa juzi, hiyo ndio barabara tunapitia. Now K&K Precast Engineering Limited wamepata njia ya kutumia that same technology for residential homes, apartment blocks and all matters construction, and the deal is even better. Also note that K&K Precast Engineering Limited build capacity ya full construction process all the way from the foundation to finishing unaingia kwa nyumba. For more inquiries, get in touch with the team ya K&K Precast Engineering through the contact details tumekuwekea kwa screen. Consider yourself plugged.
Hey wadau, our guest for this episode is one of the most interesting characters in the space ya Kenyan politics. A very interesting character mwenye some Kenyans are yet to discover. Na mnajua good vibes kama kawaida. Our guest is also a member of the East African Legislative Assembly, IALA, David Ole Sankok. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Nashukuru sana. Niko hapa leo kukutembelea.
Karibu sana
Dr. King'ori.
Nimefurahi sana.
Unakuanga daktari wa ng'ombe, wa mimea, ama gynecologist?
Lazima ungeanza na ng'ombe. Ungeanza na hiyo ya mwisho. Ungeanza na hiyo ya mwisho. Karibu sana. Nimefurahi sana wewe ni guest wetu leo.
Yes.
Na first niko na rafiki yangu from the Masai community.
Yes.
Anaitwa Leshaz Koelel.
Yes.
Sasa Leshaz aliniambia kitu ilifanya nifikirie sana. Aliniuliza wewe umewahi ona Masai mlemavu? Akatuliza kwa nini ameniambia hivyo? Akaniambia ati according to the Masai culture there is a way. Hiyo the idea ya mtu akiwa mlemavu wana make sure the community alisema it was a very cold what do we call it, a cultural element. Ati, is it accurate kwanza? Kuna kitu kama hiyo?
Let me correct you kwa sababu labda naona una struggle sana, lakini alikuambia ukweli. It is very difficult to see a person with disability in the Maasai community.
Yes.
And in the pastoral nomadic communities.
Yes.
Because of course it's like a liability. Because it's a warlike community which defend their livestock.
Yes.
And defend themselves against intruders.
Yes.
There's a lot of cattle rustling.
Yes.
So for a long time, it have been like a liability. You migrating from one region to another in search of water and pasture for our livestock.
Yes.
You don't know whether to carry your luggage or to carry this person with disability who may need a wheelchair or maybe blind. In case of an attack of wild animals, you don't know whether to defend your livestock, to defend yourself, or to defend this person with disability. So traditionally, this one is a liability. So person with disability are actually killed at birth. Once they are identified as person with disability, then they are killed by, in the Maasai tradition, they are given cholesterol as the first food. That is fat. And it will coalesce in the stomach as a fast food, and this child will not eat any other food again. And Samburu tradition, they will give water mixed with sniffing tobacco. This sniffing tobacco will perforate the intestine. From the north, they will throw that child into a camel pen, so that it will be stumbled on to be part of the manure. So that is how they used to kill. And they are referred in very demeaning words. They are called ngoki. Ngoki is a curse. If you translate it directly to English,
Yes.
they are called orngojene, and that one is translated directly is a hyena, or they are referred to as ormaima, directly translated to the water seal. You know that animal, the water seal. So yes, it was difficult long time ago to see a child with disability, unless those who acquired disability at old age. They had a way of hiding. When they ask, this lady was pregnant, where is the child? They will say, no, you have given birth to something like a bird and it will flew away. They gave something like a goat that had a tail and did not survive, you know. They had ways of explaining the scenario. But the traditional birth attendants will tell you how many kids they have killed. It's only fortunate enough that I acquired my disability at the age of 12. So it was very difficult again to hide me. But naturally and traditionally, it was very difficult to find a person with disability among the Maasai and among the pastoral nomadic tribes.
And what happens at the age of 12?
At the age of 12, I was in primary school. I went to primary school because the chief came to our homestead and said every family must have one boy going to school.
One boy?
Yes, at least one boy. You can send as many as you want, but you know, we did not like school. Our parents did not want school. They did not want to do anything to do with the white people. But that time it was a demand from, I think, the Kenyatta era, because I was born 1978, that we need somebody who must go to school from this homestead, every homestead. So that time, any naughty boy will be sent to, they used to call, to the wazungu. Wacha wazungu waende wacharase ama wafanyie kenye wanafanyia. But that boy who was very keen in looking after livestock will not be sent to school, because it will be a disaster if then your livestock are not taken good care of, because that was our economic lifeline.
That's what made sense then.
Yes, so because I was a bit naughty, and every now and then, you know, when I throw my rungus, it will find its way to maybe a goat or a sheep, and I used to kill several of them or break their legs. So my father, when the chief said that they wanted somebody to go to school, he said, this is not a boy. Na waambie wazungu, hata wakiua huyu, I will understand them. Ndawaelewa. kisirani sana. So that is how I went to school. And then at the age of 12 or 13 thereabout, I fell ill of pneumonia. And the closest hospital was 42 kilometers away in Naivasha, a place called Mayala. So nikabebwa all the way to the clinic. The doctor was a bit asleep because we reached there at midnight. He was waken up, I think, 3, if I remember, 4 times. When he woke up, he examined me, injected me. Sijui kama alisahau ile shindano ya watu wakakuja na ya ng'ombe. Because dawa ilikuwa mzuri, mimi nilipona. Lakini kesho yake nikijaribu kutoka kwa kitanda, my right leg was paralyzed. So nikarudishwa kwake, akaambiwa, he said that I should be massaged using salty water, hot salty water. I was massaged for 2 weeks, haikuwezekana. We had missionaries at a place called Siabei. They came. They took me to Kijabe Mission Hospital. When I went to Kijabe Mission Hospital, I was examined by a white doctor. They don't know how to lie. So he came out with crutches and told me, learn how to use these crutches because you'll use them throughout your life. By the way, completely I saw darkness. And not because of anything else, but because while I was sent to school by my father by force, I was there in school just to pass time, so that when, after circumcision, which is at the age of around 16 to 17, I'll join Moranism, go for cattle wrestling, because that is how we used to increase our wealth, and make my father proud by bringing so many livestock. You know, we used to not to call that you are going to steal. We used to believe all the cows belong to the Maasai. So taking the cows from Kikuyu land or any other community is correcting an historical mistake or injustice. So I was waiting for that time after circumcision to go and raid. So when I heard that I have to use crutches, I knew now I cannot make my father proud by increasing our wealth, by raiding other communities to bring cattle home. Again, being naughty, I had crossed paths with so many boys, and I knew it would be payback time. In fact, when I came with crutches to Olasangale Primary School, there was celebration. What? I was beaten left and right, center, whatever. You know, one day, in fact, somebody, it is not Babu who started stealing my crutches.
Babu
One boy stole my crutches in primary school. You know, Babu Wino came and stole my crutches in Parliament, the 12th Parliament. But he was not the first one. In primary school, once I came with crutches and they knew now I'm helpless, one day somebody, because I used to stay in class most of the time, I cannot go to the field because they'll beat me.
How dangerous were you before the crutches?
Of course. They have injuries. Of course, most of them have injuries. Just the way, you know, when I was in parliament, most parliamentarians had injuries. You know, these crutches, you know, when we argue with you, I can just pass through the middle of your legs and I'll hit the softest anatomical area in the human body. And you know what it means. The next generation will not be
That's
there.
a breach of the standing orders.
Of course. And
You can no longer stand.
And you know, if I hit you as a member of parliament, there's nothing you can do. If you beat me, International Organization for and of Person with Disability will say, mtu mlemavu amepigwa. How can you beat a person with disability? If you go and take me to court, even your constituents who elected you will tell you, unachapwa na kiwete bwana, sini kama mtu anachapwa na bibi. So you have to familiar. That is why Babu Wino ended up stealing the crutches. So one boy who started stealing my crutches, in the evening, thought that he will run away with my crutches so that I can remain were in preps around 8 p.m. But unfortunately, when he went to bed, he slept. So I remained in class throughout the night. You know, I could not go to the dorm, to the dormitory. So even mosquitoes, even urinating, projecting through the window. So that's So after becoming disabled,
They dealt with you thoroughly.
they dealt with me. But anyway, thank God, and I thank God for this disability. So I went and made a decision. Young as I was, I sat down and have a conference of myself and talk to myself.
Yes.
I will no longer be useful in the Maasai community setup. Pastoral nomadic life, to me, nothing. The neighboring communities who are agricultural communities, tilling the land is nothing for me. So for me, business was moving livestock from Narok all the way to Ntagreti and sell them at a profit. I couldn't. Cultivating land, no. Taking care of my father's livestock, it is not possible now. So naturally, I've become useless as far as the community setup at that time is. So I decided to have a conference against myself. And I decided, the disability have affected my leg, but it have not affected my mouth. It have not affected my brain. It have not affected my hands. So I decided now it is time to start and studying hard. And in any case, I could not go to the field. So every now and then I'm in class so that I can be closer to the teachers, so that when they try to beat me, I will scream and I'll get some saviors.
Yes.
So being in class is closer to the books. I used to be position number 72 out of 72. That is last. But when I became disabled, now that I was in class, every now and then and closer to books, I improved from 72 to position 13, 8, 3, and then finally I became number 1. That is what I became up to graduate high school to University of Nairobi Medical School. But before I became disabled, it was only one time that I became number 71. And I really celebrated. But the celebration was cut short by the school headmaster, who was called Tom Sange. He came to me and told me, shut up, don't celebrate. There was one boy who was sick, who did not do the exam. So you are still number last. Only that you are 71 this time. You are not the total number of 72 students. Again, I say now that the hands are not affected. After high school, if you remember very well, we used to have 2 years before we joined the university, before the double intake was brought.
Yes.
So the 2 years I did not waste. I went to Narok Youth Polytechnic and studied carpentry for 6 months. So as I speak to you, wewe ni daktari sijui ya nini, mimi ni qualified carpenter. Again, for the use of my brain, of course, I was in the University of Nairobi as a student leader, SONU president, and again in medical school. For the use of my mouth.
You went to medical school?
Yes. For the use of my mouth, daktari, I don't have to explain. And sio lazima niwaambie wa Kenya. Kwa nafikiri kuwa SONU president ni mchezo. The first SONU president from medical school. And the last, of course. No other one have ever become.
Now
the
you
first
understand.
SONU president to become with disability. The first SONU president with disability. And I was the first and the last. The first and the last Maasai to become SONU president. Before me, none of them have become. After me, so I've broken 3 records. The first medical student and the last one to become a SONU president. The first Maasai and the last one to become SONU president. The first person with disability to become SONU president and the last. And
so now I mentioned that your self-esteem is over the roof because there was a clip of you that went viral.
Yes.
One of the many that you said you don't walk around crusades.
Yeah.
Because they can heal you.
You know, these people are very powerful. Some of them are very powerful men of God.
True. You believe the miracles happen.
Miracles can happen, yes. Though I had requested if they can give me a list of anybody who have healed, so that I can register them from the National Council for Person with Disability. Because even me, I want them to heal to reduce competition for the benefit that we have as person with disability. Unajua hakuna mtu anataka compare bana. In sometimes competition you win by elimination method. So if these pastors and bishop can assist me and eliminate, if today Bishop Koskei was prayed for and he was healed, he would not have replaced me as a nominated member of parliament representing person with disability. Singekuwa na competition. Why kongingori namna gani? So when I was chairman National Council of Person with Disability and member of parliament representing person with disability, there are so many benefits that I fought for. One of them is that we don't pay duty to our vehicles.
Yes.
I import a car duty free.
Yes.
Yes. A Lexus of 26 million. I only pay 16 million. Yeah.
Yes.
Almost half price.
Yes.
Because duty in Kenya is 42%. I don't also pay as you earn. I don't pay taxes. I'm exempted, tax exemption for all persons with disability working in private and in...
you fought for that.
I fought for that. And now, taxes in Kenya, pay as you earn, is 30%. So if we are earning with you 150,000, you will get 100,000. 50,000 will go to the government, 30%. Me, I will get the total 150,000. We also access government procurement opportunities in terms of ACPO, access to government procurement opportunities. So tenders in government, when they are given out, there is a percentage that is allocated to person with disability. We enjoy so many benefits.
So if you get
including, if today we go to the bank, I will be served first. If you go to State House, I'll be given parking next to where the president is because I cannot walk for long distance. Even in this building, when I came, I was given my special parking that is for person with disability. In the cities, internationally, if I park my car, I don't pay for park fee. So I enjoy a lot of benefit. So if today they say, pokea, na mguu kuruguru, ipone. Nipotezi hiyo benefit kwa sababu ya mguu. When wewe daktari, hii mguu yako ni mzuri. Have you ever earned even a single coin using your legs? You are not a footballer. Yes, you are not an athlete. Yes, kwa hivyo hiyo mguu, mimi nime-earn through my legs because I was nominated to represent person with disability. How can you be nominated when you are not a person with disability? So it was courtesy of this leg that Uhuru Kenyatta nominated me to the National Assembly. I am called Honorable David Ole Sankok because I am a person with disability. Hii mguu yako sasa inakusaidianga nani? Kutoka tu kwa sitting room na kwenda kwa washroom. Na mimi, by the way, hata kama natembea na swag kidogo, umeona kama naenda rivers kama gari? Si hata mimi nakuja tu, what I do is if we are going to a distance of 5 kilometers and we are supposed to use 1 hour to reach there, I'll start my journey 1 hour earlier. So that by the time you are starting your journey, I am in the middle of the journey and we'll reach our destination at the same time. As simple as that. Just a little adjustment. So my leg is more beneficial when it is this. Wakisema pokea, ndavunja na nyundu. Afadhali hiyo uchungu. Na hiyo kwenda kwa hospitali, mguu inahangiwa kutoka kwa ceiling, plaster of Paris, wiki 2, wiki 3. Alafu nitoke nikienjoy hiyo mamilioni ya watu walemavu.
Now, how do you build this mindset? Because I believe this would go a long way for someone who is living with a disability. How do you build this mindset that is impenetrable with the condition that you live with?
Yaliyomwagika yasoleki. Once you have known that you have a condition that you cannot do anything about, you cannot reserve. Just learn how to live with that condition. But lamenting and reading from the book of Lamentation, my friend, utapitwa na wakati na utapitwa na watu, and you'll have yourself to blame. I believe excuses are justification of failures. I cannot give an excuse of my disability and use it as a begging tool. No, never. Kwa barabara kwenda kuekelea mguu hivi, ati wakiona machuma hivi wanaanza kuniekelea mashilingi. I had that opportunity. Ningeekelea hata wewe mwenyewe daktari, kama ungepita pale na uone mguu yangu venye nakaa, ungeniekelea mashilingi. No. The excuses are justification of failures. Mimi niliamua, this is my disability. I have to know how to live with it. No, I'm a qualified carpenter. Natumia mkono yangu nikikaa chini natengeneza viti. Kuja hoteli yangu Sim Country Lodge utapata viti mingi ya mbao. Na mimi ndio natengeneza. Wewe kuja Sim Country Lodge hata nimejenga nyumba juu ya miti. Kwa sababu I'm a carpenter inajengwa na mbao. Na mimi ndio mindset. Tengeneza nyumba juu ya miti, iko kangazi inaekelewa pale, na iko na bathroom, iko na choo, na iko na kitanda huko juu. Na once mkiingia, because it is called the lover's nest, natoa hiyo ngazi. Kwa sababu pia wasichana wamekula fare kwa muda mrefu. Sasa pale lazima wakae mpaka asubuhi. Mwenye amelipa hiyo nyumba ndiye ataitisha hiyo ngazi ndio. Na unajua pale sasa juu ya miti juu ya miti upepo ikikuja naturally, si unajua miti itatikika hivi, itakuwa kama turbulence ile ya ndege. Lakini kwa ndege utaambiwa fasten your safety belt. But pale kwa sababu hakuna safety belt, you fasten the grip. The end product is a boy or twins. Hapo you fire without missing. Na ni kwa sababu watu wamekula fare kwa muda mrefu. By the way, iko juu ya miti, that is almost 2 stories. It's almost in second floor. So hata ukijaribu kutoka nje hakuna ngazi, huwezi ruka. Msia anarudi huko ndani na wewe pia sasa unajitetea.
Na kiruka unamregister kwa persons with disability.
Hapana, sitaki competition. Takuja kushindana na mimi. Hii benefit ya watu walemavu nataka kuenjoy peke yangu.
Hautaki walemavu wengine.
Hata ambia Prophet Ogo, just provide me with a list of all those you have healed. I register them. Natoa. Yani competition by elimination. Wakitoka. Hata kama wanataka hii mtu amechukua hii kiti yangu. Bishop Jackson Koskei ndio mbunge wa kuwakilisha watu walemavu, na Harold Kimchumba ndio mbunge mwingine wa kuwakilisha watu walemavu, na Elizabeth Chesang pia alichukua kiti yangu ya National Chairman National Council for Persons with Disability.
Yes.
So Prophet War, you can find your way to those 3 characters. If you heal them. Kiti yangu narudishwa hapo.
Na sasa umesema
Koskei kwa sababu is amputee. Sio kama tumguu tutamea ama anaombeanga aje. Tutatokezea. Wale wengine najua hii mtu anaitwa Harold Kipchumba, yeye ni polio. Na Elizabeth Chesang alianguka tu na pikipiki kidogo, ni kama ka stroke kidogo upande moja. So huyo ni rahisi kukarabati. Lakini Bishop Koskei
hiyo kumea ndio ujui.
Hii sasa ndio sijui kama akisema pokea tumuguchi. But miracles are there.
Na sasa for the benefits you fought for, at the level that you are at, kuna members who labda bado they've not built money ya kununua gari, so hawawezi sikia hiyo benefit ya tax exemption, hawawezi sikia hiyo benefit ya, let's say for example, pay as you earn in terms of jobs. What are the other benefits that members get from being registered to the organization?
You are an investigative journalist. Socio-economic investigative journalist. I thought when the daktari hii anaitwa gynecologist. Gynecology ni hatari sana. Mnakuja na bibi yako mzuri, anakuambia wewe baki kwa reception, yeye anaingia na bibi yako kwa private room consultation, na anasema consultation, na anakuambia anaenda kufanya examination inaitwa VE. VE. Na unakubali tu na unakaa pale. Sababu akishatoka anakuambia pay for the service.
Yes, wewe ndio unalipa.
Na sasa hujui ni service gani. Unajua?
Ni wao ndio wanajua.
So nilikuwa nafikiri wewe ni gynecologist, lakini nimeona wewe ni investigative journalist. So for the benefit of those who are there. By the way, when I went to the disability advocacy movement, the first thing is to categorize them. Put them into categories. Because needs are different. There are persons with albinism. They are like you, only that ngozi yao inapitisha miale ya jua kwa sababu hawana melanin. So what do? We provide them with free sun screen lotions, which are in every hospital. They go and collect, wajipake, wakishajipaka. Once their skin is protected from the sun, we don't need to give them any other benefit. Wacha waende, survive na hustle kama wewe. I used even to buy for them when I was in the National Council for Persons with Disability protective clothing. Sio nguo mfupi hivi. Nakuja mpaka hapa ndio protect ngozi na hiyo kofia. Hata umeona kofia mingi iko na muhuri ya serikali na National Council for Persons with Disability, ile God Papa, ili you are protect. Those who are in schools, I used to buy for them hii kitu inaitwa tablets, so that when they write their notes, they can enlarge. You see them nose reading, because also they get partial blindness when they are person with albinism. That is one category. The other category is a category of severely disabled. Severely disabled are cerebral palsy, autism, mental disability. These people require 24-hour care. They cannot even go to the toilet on themselves. You find a person of 25 years, 30 years, still having diapers. This person who wants a 24-hour care. So what did I do? Was to provide them with cash transfer. Those caretakers who take care of them, let us give them a small stipend, so that these people, we don't take them to a secluded place and feed them as a government, because they are still human beings with those human feelings. They want to belong to a family setup. So naturally, if there is 2,000 every month, which I wanted it to be 5,000, but it have not yet gone there, or 10,000, if there is something they are providing on the table, he or she will feel important in that family, so that we can integrate them back into the family setup. There is another category of those who require assisted devices. Like myself, I need a wheelchair, I need a crutches, I need calipers for me to be able to move one place to another. When Babu Wino stole my crutches, I will only have crawled. If there was fire, I would have burned alive. So I went to Uhuru Kenyatta and explained to him that I buy my legs. You don't buy your legs. Tafadhali jameni. It is only logical that you exempt me from paying taxes, so that the taxes I can use to buy my legs. Because Uhuru Kenyatta did not buy his legs. You yourself, you don't buy your legs. So that is how they were exempted from taxes. Those who are business people, you find somebody who is a mitumba seller, live in Kangemi, sell his mitumba in Kikomba. If you and a person on a wheelchair are moving from Kangemi to Kikomba to sell your merchandise, you can even carry your merchandise, your bale of mitumba, on your shoulders. And even if you get into a car, you will not have an extra fare. That person with disability on a wheelchair will have to, one, pay a bus fare for himself, pay another bus fare for the wheelchair, and pay bus fare for that person who will go and push him. So they will have almost 3 times your normal fare.
Yes.
Again, during rush hours, since a person on a wheelchair will enter the vehicle slowly, and it is rush hour,
Yes.
matatus will prefer to carry you who will jump into the vehicle and jump out of the vehicle and leave that person waiting. So they will not compete with you, because they will reach up much later. And if it is raining, they will be rain on for hours before the rush hour reduce. So we categorize all of them. Those who are in school, we made sure that there is at least 5% of bursary allocated to person with disability in CDF, in National Government Affirmative Action Fund, in county government funds, and also in the National Council for Persons with Disability. There is some funds that are allocated for bursaries and scholarship for pupils with disability. And the other thing that I did, and I'm quite proud of, was the integrated system of education. Before I came into the disability movement, there were so many special schools. I was almost taken to a special school in Kajiado, where it's called Child Care Center. But Daktari, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Simply because I have crutches, you take me to mchanganyiko ya visually impaired, yani blind, to the deaf, mchanganyiko ya wheelchairs, mchanganyiko ya mentally handicap, autism and cerebral palsy. Surely my self-esteem will just be gone. And again, if I ask you another question, if you manage to get a special school for me in primary school, will you and get a special school in secondary school? What about a university? Will you get a special university for person with disability?
No.
Will you get a special supermarket for person with disability?
No.
Will you get a special workplace for a person with disability? No. So the earlier we integrate these people, the better. Because if I'm a person on crutches, just make the classroom accessible. Make my dormitory accessible. If I'm a wheelchair, just put a ramp into the classroom. If I am deaf, just train our teachers in sign language so that they know 3 languages, English, Swahili, and sign language. So if they come to a class of a combination of deaf and people who are not deaf, he will talk for the sake of those who are not deaf. He will sign for the sake of those who are deaf. And then, Dr. if I become number 1 in a class where I am with you, and accidentally you become number last, I have not said that you are number last, but I am here to confirm. I get an A because there is no A+, and you get an E because there is no F. What will happen to my self-esteem? I will realize, oh yes, so in the field, this guy is stronger than me, so I'm disabled in the field.
Yes.
But if we come to class,
yes,
since he have gotten an E because there is no F, he's disabled there. Yes. And me, I'm able because I've gotten an A because there is no A+. So automatically, my self-esteem will come up. And we'll also know how to assist each other. There is that symbiotic relationship when we start. You know, when I was a child with disability, I could feel stigma all over. Because I would walk in the street, children, because they have never seen a person with disability, they went to primary, they did not see any person with disability in their primary school, they will walk mimicking me, like this. Of course, I may not talk, but you know, deep inside me, I'm burning. Even if I go to class, I may not really pay enough attention. But when we integrate them earlier in life, it will be easier for them to know each other and they will know that stigma. I used to have also a friend who understood me in Kericho High School, Patrick Malel. I could not carry, because of my crutches, buckets of water. So he will take that responsibility. But since when I sit down, my hands are active, I'll wash both my and his clothes. But he used to bring all the clothes. That guy. And I couldn't complain.
Symbiotic.
All of them, but all the clothes, underline the word all. Yes. So that is how we solve the issue of disability. So every category of person with disability will know where to get at least some assistance to jumpstart their lives.
Yes.
But I want to talk to person with disability. We have nomination slots for person with disability for you to be represented. We have a slot reserved in boards of primary school, secondary school, institutions of learning, and even in our state corporation.
Yes.
Slots reserved for person with disability. There is also a 5% requirement of our constitution, employment of person with disability in private and in public sector. But I want to tell person with disability, disability is not a qualification. You must make yourself employable. You can't simply walk into Kenyatta and become a surgeon simply because umevunjika mguu. Unless you are trained as a surgeon,
yes,
then you'll be given the 5% slot. You can't be picked from home,
yes,
and be nominated as a member of parliament,
yes,
if the party itself does not see the political value in you.
Yes, yes,
you
yes,
must
yes,
come out and show your ability beyond disability.
Yes, yes,
but
yes,
when
yes,
you sit down and say sisi walemavu hatujasaidiwa,
yes,
wazazi wengine wanatumia walemavu kama begging tools, naona mtu anasukuma mtu kwa wheelchair ndani ya hii traffic jam, kwa jua,
yes,
kwa mvua,
Yes.
Sasa hiyo nguvu yote wewe unasukuma huyu mtu throughout the day. Si ungeenda kufanya kibarua ulishe huyu mtu kama unampenda. The fact is that you are using this person as a begging tool. Hata wengine wanatumia watoto. It's unfortunate. Our parents should not use us as a begging tools. Our parents should know that sio venye mnasemanga ati niko na watoto 3 na mlemavu mmoja. Kwani mimi ni nani? Si mimi ni mtoto pia. Sema tu niko na watoto 4 kama uko na 4. Si ati 3 na mlemavu mmoja.
Yes.
Again unasema serikali hajasaidia huyu mlemavu. No, serikali does not give birth. The government never give birth. Hakuna mtoto wa serikali. Mtoto awe mlemavu ama sio mlemavu ni wako wewe mzazi. Wewe deal na mtoto wako, serikali itakuja tu kukusaidia venye inasaidia all the vulnerable families, hata wanyawana walemavu kuwalipia school fees. Okay. Lakini wakati ambao unafikiri mzigo once you have a child with disability, mzigo imekuwa serikali saa ngapi? When did the government give birth? No, the child is yours, with or without disability, and you must love them equally, those with disability and without disability,
and allow them to explore their
potential.
So you have a very interesting story on poverty, but at this point, please, you deserve all the credit for the work you've done for persons with disabilities.
Thank you.
But I'd like to give a shout out to an organization anaitwa Riziki Source. This is through a former colleague at Nation anaitwa Irene Ekasiol. Waliniambia this is an organization committed to creating inclusive pathways to dignified and fulfilling work for the youth with disabilities. And their work focuses on equipping young people with soft skills and digital skills, and that prepare them to thrive in today's job market.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Equip them with skills.
Yes.
Disability is not a skill. Disability is not a qualification.
Yes.
You'll be employed only if you make yourself employable.
Aha.
So make your children with disability employable by allowing them to go through a normal school. If I was talking to Maasai, because I did not go to school, I was illiterate. Will I have become a member of parliament?
No.
Yes. Will I have worked in Kenyatta National Hospital if I was not? If I did not go to school, wangekuja tu kunipata waniambie wewe umevunjika mguu, kuna nafasi ya watu walemavu lazima wakuwe madaktari, utakuwa madaktari bila kusomea kazi ya udaktari. So that organization, pongezi. And congratulations.
And when you become a doctor, uko na stories interesting sana. Nataka tuingie kwa vita yako na umaskini. But hapa nyuma, when you became a doctor, did you ever get tempted to go back to the mistake the doctor made?
Oh, yes. In fact, I was just waiting that question. One of the things, and that is why I thank my disability. I thank my disability because I'm a member of parliament and I enjoy all the benefits. I don't pay taxes. I import duty free. Kwa hivyo, hii mguu, hii ni jembe ya kazi. Iko na faida kuliko hii yako. But apart from that, hii disability. You know, when I saw this needle, kashindano, a syringe, na ako ka needle, enye nimedungwa nayo, just a small injection, and change the lifestyle of a potential Moran who will have gone to cattle raids, and somebody who was very known to be naughty, somebody who was bullying all the boys, even those who are older than me, and all of a sudden, I'm helpless. So I had to think, what happened? In fact, why I chose medicine instead of engineering or any other thing was to go and know what happened. A small needle changing the lifestyle of this real Moran soldier who was respected beyond my borders, you know. Then that is what drove me, the motivation for me to go and know how and why.
Yes.
And thank God now I know. The guy just mistook. I did not do the necessary, because normally when you take an injection as a nurse or as a doctor, if it is intramuscular, you divide the muscles in your mind, the buttock, into 4. You inject the upper outer quarter, not the inner lower quarter. So I think he injected the inner lower quarter and got the sciatic nerve. So the sciatic nerve was paralyzed. You know, when you kill a nerve, it can never be regenerated. It is one of the cells that cannot regenerate. Once it is gone, it is gone. So now I comfortably know. So during my time when I had several private clinics, because I went to private practice, Loiter Lab Medical Services in Narok, Osim Medical and Surgical Center in Suswa, Wasokedong, Wasongiro, Muswani, and a place called Kishemurwak. I made sure I never repeated the same mistake that the doctor repeated when he made me disabled, because not everybody is strong as I am. Somebody else, once they become disabled, then their life is in shambles, and they may even end up using their disability as a begging tool. But I made sure I had never did such mistake. And every now and then when we had medical trainings, I will insist, because this is how I am, courtesy of a mistake of the lower inner quarter of the gluteus maximus muscles, the buttock, then concentrate on the upper outer quarter.
Masai ni nyama. Lazima ungeipima na kama kwa bucha.
The first day I went to medical school and we went to mortuary, because that is Chiromo mortuary. That was our lab. So you meet these cadavers and you have to identify some of the body parts, you know. So I remember Dr. Ogego asking me, please remove the gluteus maximus muscles. So for me, I think since kwa nimestuka kidogo na nini, nikafikiri gluteus maximus or muscles ni kama tukamba. So I removed the buttock, naeka kando, mpaka ikafika kwa mfupa, anaambia hii mtu wako na gluteus maximus. It was me idiot. The whole of that chunk. It was already almost 4 kgs. You know, nipata mnono mkubwa. Wale wako na sitting apparatus mzuri.
4 kgs.
Even more. Wale najua kuna wenye wako bless hindquarters, my friend, ukiangalia.
Hao ndio mnasoma na wao.
Of course, that is the training now for all medical students. Yes.
Na hapo umetaja mortuary. My friend, I told my friend, I talked to him a lot, anaitwa Harrison Mareka. Aliniuliza tu, like, what are you doing today? Nikamwambia leo we are vibing with Honorable David Ole Sankok. Akasema Ole Sankok alinichekesha sana. Ati one time he wanted to buy land and people were refusing. Kwa hiyo story ni ukweli.
You know what happened? I wanted enough land to build where my lodge is, Osim Country Lodge. But wakati na nilikuwa nataka pahali iko karibu na town kwa sababu ya stima, na pia iko karibu na lami na source of water karibu na Wasongiro River. So when I identified that location, it was small because there are 50 by 100 plots. So wakati nilinunua plot ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu, naturally, you know, Africans wako na jealousy, wakaanza kusema hii mtu kama na grab, you know. Even when you are buying, you know, I was never allocated any plot.
Yes.
So mimi nikaona sasa hawa watu wengine kwa sababu ya jealousy, wifu, wakaanza kuongeza bei. That time I was buying at around 200,000 to 300,000 per 50 by 100 plots. Mara moja wakapeleka mpaka 500,000.
Karibu na town.
Na wengine wanataka kupeleka 1 million. Ndani ya town. It was long time ago, 2011. So mimi nikaona sasa, mimi nimetoka University of Nairobi, student leader. Alafu mtu hapa hata hajaenda shule, hata suruali hana, ni shuka tu, anakuja kunipangia maisha. Mimi nikawadanganya mimi najenga mochari. Sasa kuna Masai anataka kuishi karibu na mochari. So wanakuja, wananiambia sasa wewe Sankok, unajua wa Masai ni wale wa kusema na yako taalelo. They are very good in passing the message. So mimi nakutana na mtu mwingine ananiambia, my friend, sasa mimi plot yangu iko hapa, namwambia hii ni yako. Hii architecture mwenye amechora design ya hii hoteli yangu, ya hii mochari yangu, ameweka hapa pahali ya kuoshea maiti. Lakini unajua maiti sio kama ng'ombe inachinjwa ikiwa healthy. Wanakufa na hii ugonjwa itaweza ambukizana kwa binadamu kwa sababu ni ya binadamu. Takuwekea mtaro ili maji isivuke ikuje kwa hapana, nunua tu. Namwambia sasa mimi niko na 50,000. Lete niende. Ndio anakuja anamwambia hapa ndio kuna incinerator. Ile ya kuchoma stillbirth na placenta. Lakini ndajaribu kuweka chimney. Hii moshi anasema bana please nunua.
Chukua nini?
Anamwambia bana mimi niko na 50,000 mimi sina pesa. Lete hiyo mimi niende. So plot ikashuka kutoka 300,000 mpaka 50,000. Nikanunua 56 plots. Wakati nimejenga hoteli wengine wakakuja. Kaniambia sasa wewe unatudanganya. Unajenga mortuary. Sasa wewe umejenga hoteli. Nikamwambia my friend, is only a fool who doesn't change his mind. And I'm not a fool. Niliangalia, nikaangalia. Sasa wewe uliniuzia. Na wewe ndio ungekuwa customer ya mortuary. Umekataa kukufa. Sasa ningefanya nini? Na unakula kila siku. Nikaamua nitengeneze hiyo unakula kila siku. Sasa wewe ndio one of the customer nilikuwa na angalia na kwa sababu umekonda nikaona wewe ndio utakuwa first customer. Umekataa kufa. Lakini throughout unakula. Sasa nikaamua acha ni change from mortuary because you have refused to die to hotel because you are continuously eating. So that's how I changed my mind.
Na kuna kitu tena umetaja you would have been a Moran uingie kwa cattle rustling. That is one thing I've never understood. How does it work? Is it just the prestige of having the animals? Because kuna theory moja nilisikia ati kumbe it's actually a business on the other side. Ya kuna watu hiyo nyama ya cattle rustling, because we've never understood how can 1,000 cows disappear na ziende kabisa. What's going on there?
Kwanza kabla sija kumalizia pale mambo ya mortuary, I was forced kuuza kondoo yenye nilikuwa nimenunua 250. And you know how prestigious we feel prestigious when you have your livestock number is high.
Uliuza kondoo 250?
Nilikuwa nimenunua zikazana, nikauza yote 250. Baba yangu akafikiri nimerogwa, akaenda kuniitia hii waganga akuja nitengeneze.
Wamasai wanaamingi waganga?
Hii wakaita my friend, wakati anatengeneza hivi anasema sijui nimerogwa, sijui na my stepfather, my uncle, you know. For us tunasemanga tu baba. Ndugu ya babangu ndiye alisema ati labda yeye ndiye amerogwa yeye. Mpaka watu wakaanza kustuka. Niligonga yeye. Nikamwambia hii kitu yako yenye naona mimi nimerogwa. Kwa nini haikuona wewe ndakuchapa leo na mimi mwenyewe nimenunua rungu specifically kutoka pahali Narok inaitwa Kims kuja kuchapa wewe.
Uliuza 250?
Yes. Wakati nilikuwa nanunua hizo plots. Because I knew now Wamasai watakimbia kusema nunua yangu kwa sababu nao nimewadanganya ni mortuary. So I knew I needed
to be liquid.
Cash to be liquid. Yes. So that niweze kununua. So hii issue ya cattle rustling is a traditional social issue. It's not nowadays it is commercialized. Lakini wakati wetu it was never a commercial issue. It was a social cultural matter. One, it is prestigious when as a young man you go and weaken the other communities, because we used to live like tribes or kingdoms. So if the other kingdom is weaker economically, then they will not be able to fight you. Secondly,
it's a prevention strategy.
Secondly, when you make your father proud by increasing the number of livestock in the compound, you know, everybody will be talking about, you know, you see, they will be telling their young boys, just be like Sankok. Have you not seen that family was very poor? It had only 10 cows. Now there are almost 1,000 cows. This guy have raided almost everywhere and brought cows, Freshan, Zebu. You know, it was a prestige issue. It was not a monetary issue. And then again, our cultures, all of it used to revolve around our cows. You know, one dowry was never counted in terms of money. I go and marry, I will have to pay a number of cows if you don't have. Now, if a young man was told, because my father paid for my mother around, I think 400 goats and sheep and 120 cattle, heads of cattle. So you can imagine if you don't have, what will you do? You'll never marry. So it is actually a cultural issue, and it also showed how strong you are. And it was a way of practice. You see the army, the way we have Laikipia, British army base, where they come and plug bombs here and there. So for us, because the young men between 17 years to around 27 years, they are the defenders of the community. How do you prepare for war in any time? Is to go and try and fight these other small communities. You raid them, try to evoke them so that they can come for a fight. When you take their wealth, they will want to fight you so that you sharpen your skills in the process of fighting these small fights of raiding this homestead and beating everybody there. So
and what does that tell us about wealth creation? Because there's a difference between raising a flock of 1,000 cows at izizane polepole versus raiding pale wende upate.
Of course, the person who will raid the stock will multiply very fast, and that will waiting for them to give birth. Of course, it will take time because diseases and other things they are there.
But when you juxtapose this with the reality of the life today, grow polepole is almost a fallacy then, if we go by that account.
Of course, that is why every community, even if you say today, there are land grabbers all over. There are people, corrupt individuals in the government all over, and they are growing their wealth within 5 days of getting government appointments. So it is natural. It is in human nature to grow wealth as quick as you can. And some of them then who are not religious will use some very dubious means. One of the dubious means at that time, because there was no land to grab, the land belonged to the community and it belonged to all of us.
Yes.
But we could push communities away from the land that we may see that will support livestock. There was no government to corrupt money from. So
Yes.
the corruption of that time was cattle wrestling.
Yes.
But nowadays it is now being commercialized. Which
what does that mean?
I sympathize. I think it have taken our communities backward. And when I was in the National Assembly,
yes,
we wanted us to make a law because cattle rustling is a capital offense, but they are not taking it with the seriousness it deserves. Because in cattle rustling, there is deportation of masses, there is rape, and there is murder. If that is not crime against humanity, then I don't know what is a crime against humanity. So I wonder, it was shut down, but I believe those who are now lucky enough to be in the 13th Parliament can push and make it a capital offense for the benefit of our communities. Because when they discard this issue of cattle rustling, then there will be a lot of wealth in the north, because the northern frontier, we have land, we have natural resources, but these natural resources is turning out to be curse instead of a blessing because of this cattle rustling, stealing a goat of 10,000 Kenyan shillings.
But I've heard that's also another theory, that some areas are unstable because it is by design so that natural resources can be exploited.
Yeah, that is what we call political socio-economic neocolonialism. You see, like DRC is unstable because our former colonizers did not get out of Africa on their own volition. They were pushed out by the rebellion communities that were there, the Mamau uprising, the Majimoji and others. the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. So they are colonizing us in another way of making Africa totally unstable. And for you not to believe that Africa, you can. That is why today, Dr. Kingori, we export our raw leather at a very cheap price, 100 shillings per hide. A cow hide can be able to give you 20 pairs of shoes. Looking at your shoes, you know, they may be those ones of those ministers who are saying 1 million each. So if you can give it an approximate price of 10,000 each, then one hide can be able to give us 200,000 Kenya shillings. But we are selling them at 100 shillings as raw materials. Once they go to Netherlands, they go to Australia, then they are turned into shoes and exported back to Kenya. Kenya annually slaughter 2.5 million head of cattle.
Oh.
Another 1 million die out of diseases and hunger or drought. That is a possibility of having close to 3 million, that is close to 90 million pairs of shoes from cattle only. And we still have camel, we still have sheep and goats. But unfortunately, we import into the country 25 million pairs of leather shoes annually, without mentioning the coats, jackets, handbags, wallets, and so on. So that is how we are being colonized, neocolonialism. That is the political, socio-economic neocolonialism. Because why do you import your raw leather? Surely, what does a leather industry need for it to thrive? It's very cheap. Our fathers used to make shoes of leather long time ago. You really don't need a lot of capital in terms of finance. What we need is the human capital, which we have in plenty. Because Africa may not be producers of phones, any type of cars, bombs, guns, but we are very good manufacturers of children. We produce children in high, we pump in the market.
But we miseducated the population on skilling, because can you imagine if we did not overemphasize on people becoming lawyers, engineers, and doctors?
Exactly.
And we had people focusing on skills like shoemaking and getting it to have the prestige of the careers that we mentioned, we would have built the overall expertise of the population in terms of industrialization. But now if we start now, okay, there's no better time to start than now. If we start now, the industries that have been seasoned over time in terms of building capacity and the skill, it will take time to catch up. So we also get disadvantaged on the customer. When you look at a shoe that you import from a place that wametengeneza for over years, they've mastered that skill, you have disadvantaged yourself because of the benefit of time.
How old are you?
I'm chasing 40 now.
You are very intelligent beyond your age. In fact, that is why I was suspended from the University of Nairobi. I was the son president of the University of Nairobi. And I had talked with Moi to support me financially so that we can break this curse of always Luos or Kikuyus leading the University of Nairobi, the best institution north of Limpopo and south of Sahara. And I broke that curse, and I led that institution. And I was supported by Moi. But unfortunately, there was a sanction from IMF, International Mother and Father, International Monetary Fund. So Moi did not increase taxes. Instead, he decided to focus on education, commercialization of education. So he started commercializing education. Once then you are paying for degrees at a price that varied from one degree to another, where medicine was 600,000 per year and anthropology is 30,000 per year, then a poor child with an A, because of lack of money, his A will become a C. A rich kid with a C, topping up with money, become an A because he can afford to study medicine. And because now there was commercialization of education, two things happened. One, the universities had to get customers. Where do they get customers? Is from secondary schools. And the Education Act states that you must get a C+ and above for you to pursue a degree course. So they first of all took leakage, exam leakage, to secondary schools so that you get 300 A's from one high school so that then they become customers. That is how education, everybody was almost getting an A and C+ and above because those were potential customers. It was a design by the universities that time which have already commercialized education. Secondly, all the middle level colleges that will have trained what you were talking about, leather experts and carpenters like myself, all of them were turned into universities. The teachers' colleges were turned into universities. We ended up having managers without anybody to manage.
Yes.
We need one engineer to construct this building or KICC, one civil engineer, one architecture. But how many masons do you have? They are from middle level colleges. How many painters do you have? How many carpenters do we require? There are so many of them. How many plumbers were required? So I think you are correct. And that is why I fought Moi. I went to President Moi. We argued with him. I explained to him. He refused to understand because I knew he was very intelligent. But because of pressure from IMF, he refused by design to understand. I remember one time he threatened me that he's the president of Kenya. And I accepted he's the president. And he should not have reminded me because we voted for him that he's the president. I told him, yes, you are the president of 140 million acres of the landmass of Kenya. But I am the president of the 200 acres of Nairobi University. And I have said, no commercialization. Any parallel degree student will ban them in our hostels and in our halls of, in our lecture theaters. We'll ban them alive. So that is why he ended up, he was a chancellor of all public universities. He suspended me. Actually, it was like an expansion because it was 15 years that he actually suspended me for. I wish I had brought that letter. And they tried to assassinate me almost 3 times.
They tried?
Yes, one of them was in Suswa. And I wish one day you visit Suswa.
I go to Suswa. I have one of my biggest supporters, Anaito Mr. Ngare. He comes from Narok, so I used to be on that route a lot.
Just ask them, where was the Moriongo building in which Sankok was banned? And I came out without any cloth. In fact, ni wamama ndio walikuwa wananifunika na leso. Hiyo nyumba ijaijengwa, bado unaona tu floor evidence ya kwamba ilikuwa na nyumba hapa. Watakuonyesha floor, it was cemented floor, lakini ilikuwa ya mbao. Lakini the whole house was burned. It was erased, it was burned to ashes. And luckily enough, nikatoka tu crawling. All my crutches were burned. And the following day...
You were a university student then?
Yes. Na baadaye watu wakanisaidia.
And it was a government operation?
Of course, you know, we did not follow up kwa sababu za tunafuata ya nini. It's like locking horns with a buffalo. So I was ready for my destiny. I knew I was locking horns with the president who was using the old constitution. So I knew I will be defeated. But I told my people, don't worry. Even if they kill me, even if they suspend me from the University of Nairobi, at least I will be in the golden pages of history books. But history will judge me harshly. If myself, I had accessed medical school as a poor person who by then Nikienda nyumbani nalalia ngozi ya ng'ombe kwa sababu babangu ana 1500 shillings ya kununua mattress. Niko kwa nyumba ya matope kwa sababu babangu ana hata 10,000 ya kununua mabati. Unasikia? Alafu sasa nime-access through regular program. Alafu mimi mwenyewe ndio kiongozi that time. And then I cut the bridge yenye mimi nilitumia to cross the river of poverty so that no other poor person will cross. Watoto wote maskini watakuwa wakisomea anthropology kwa sababu they can only afford 30,000. Nikasema hii haiwezekani. Wacha iumane, wacha afanye Kenya anafanya. Nikachoma nyumba, nikatoka sina nguo, mama ndio ananifalisha leso. Baadaye ndio watu wachache, kuna rafiki yangu anaitwa Jackson Torres alinipatia trouser, lakini yeye unajua alikuwa mnono, so trouser naye ilikuwa haishiki mzuri. Na mwingine ka kijana kadogo akadonate t-shirt, na sasa hii t-shirt ni kadogo, ni kama tumbo cut.
Hii pati ya nguo kutoka bila nguo, you say it very funny. You say it like ni kama wakati nyumba ilianza kuwaka ulitoa nguo juu ya joto.
Hapana. By that time I was still married, you know, and nilikuwa na bibi yangu na mtoto wa kwanza. Na sisi unalalanga na nguo kwa na bibi yako mjinga hii. Nalala tu venye baba yako alikuzaa. Sasa hakuna nafasi ya kuvaa nguo moto ndio hii my friend. Haiko nafasi ya kuvaa nguo za ngapi. So anyway, wakati nilisaidiwa sasa crutches hakuna.
Yes.
So I had to use two people. One nikishika shoulder hii na mwingine namshika shoulder hivi kama crutches, wanipeleke Kijabe kwenda kupata crutches.
Yes.
Wakati wamenisaidia kunipeleka pale tukiwa Maimayo tuna cross barabara, unajua sana shikilia hivi trailer nyingine ikakuja, ni kama sijui kama brake ilikuwa na shida, ikapiga wani poop. Sasa wakajaribu kuniinua ndio wanitorokeshe. Ile suruali nilikwambia ni kubwa kidogo. Kateremka. Wakanipeleka kwa bench ya kioski kwa pale, wakaniekelea pale. Mimi wale naona tu trouser yangu ndio ile iko katikati ya gurudumu ya magari. Naambia just relax. Ongoja tu traffic ishe, mimi msikanyangwe. Alafu mniletee trouser kwa sababu I have nothing to hide. Already everything I've been seen kwa sababu unajua ukisaidiwa trouser huwezi omba ile nyingine ya ndani. Na hii t-shirt ni tupo cut. Anyway, tukaenda Kijabe and so we had a problem with Moi, and after suspension I was also very lucky. Mungu ni nani? So hiyo ilikuwa mwaka 2000. Irungu Kang'ata was my deputy. You can also consult him. 2002 Moi akashindwa na project yake ya uhuru. Kibaki akakuwa sasa president. Sasa two things happened to my advantage. An enemy of your enemy is your friend by default. That is the law of nature.
Yes.
The jungle law. An enemy of your enemy
is
your friend by default. So we are friends with Kibaki by default because we are fighting Moi together. He was fighting in the opposition. I was fighting in the University of Nairobi because of anti-parallel degree movement.
Yes.
Again, Kibaki was sworn in on a wheelchair. Najua linki. He was a person with disability.
Yes.
So akauliza Mudhaura, wapi ile Kiweta alifukuzwa Nairobi University? Rudisha na wenzake. So we got direct presidential amnesty. And then we came back
because
and
finished something in common.
But by that time I was still in Norway. So sikukuja 2002, nilikuja 2003 because I had already started pursuing a diploma in medical research in Bergen University in Norway.
Okay.
So I came back.
Okay.
And completed now my degree. I did not want to go work with the government. Nikaenda sasa kufanya private clinics. Nikafungua several private clinics, including in that Suswa ambao duka yangu ilikuwa imechoma.
Okay. Now, when you look at President Moi, ukisema, he's an intelligent man. He definitely is. Okay. And he sees an idea that would change the lives of people. Maybe you can help us get into the mind of a leader, because if you look at President Ruto, he is one of the sharpest people who've ever stepped into that office. We know. Baka unajiuliza, doesn't he see the problems people are facing? Doesn't he see that akifinya policy fulani, he doesn't even need to promise vitu zita fall in place? What happens? International mother and father ni too strong, ama there is something that happens at certain levels that we cannot explain.
You know, I don't like to kusema uongo. Neither do I like to fight with leaders because I'm one of them. You have asked me a very difficult question. Moi is an intelligent man, Ruto is an intelligent man. I don't know if you have an intelligiometer to measure the level of intelligence of each and every of us. And if you are lucky enough to have it, then measure mine and leave the others who are not here to defend themselves so that you can measure them when you call them to this studio. Not, of course, Moi because he's gone, but you can call President Ruto and then he will defend himself.
But you are also a very intelligent person.
Have you measured?
In fact, one of the best ways to tell is conversation. And I believe when you see, you fight with President. Let me give you an intelligent-tometer, one example.
Yes.
You sit with President Moi and you tell him this idea will change the education system in Kenya. It will either affect this commercialization of education will be a problem. Okay? That's an intelligent proposal to an intelligent man. And his refusal to implement that does not make sense to you.
In fact, you are taking me far. And I didn't want me to be taken far. You know, up to today, this Model 2, this parallel degree program, I will oppose, even if I go to heaven and find that there are universities there, and there is a Model 2, I will still oppose. Because I wish you can access KTN talk show of September 2000, when we had an argument with the then Professor Francis Kishaga. It will give you the highlight of what I was thinking about. And I still believe if you want to destroy a nation, you don't need army or any weapons. You just mess up with the education system, and that nation is on its knees. Kenya is on its knees because we messed up the education system. We totally messed up the education system. Our skyscrapers are collapsing in the hands of engineers who bought their way into degrees, into universities, through the so-called Model 2 or through the so-called parallel degree program. The medical negligence you are seeing currently is in the hands of those who use Model 2. Unfortunately, when you dilute education, we will not have regular program or parallel program. We will not have Model 1 or Model 2, because all of them will be brought into one lecture theater. And once there is the level that is dragging the intelligent men down, they'll all be in one level. And you know, unfortunately, those people who are always down, don't allow them to drag you down because they have experience of being there. They will really deal with you.
Yes.
So, in that talk show, I predicted that there will be medical tourism because there will be two categories of people in Kenya. There will be doctors who have paid 600,000 annually, translating to almost 4 million, for them to get those degrees. They will try to get return on their investments. So medical services in Kenya will skyrocket. consultation will be very high. You know, for me who was living in a Manyata and who was using a cow hide as a mattress, if you give me 20,000 a month, I will accept because I can get a one-room house that is a stone house. I can get a mattress. If I get a Volkswagen, my father does not even have a bicycle, so it will be better for me. But this guy who afford 4 million to study medicine means that they are driving Mercedes at home. His father is driving a Lexus. He will need a Lexus in his first 2 months of employment. So the salary must match that. They will need the return in investment. So I told them, Kenya will divide into two. The ones who will afford, but because these parallel degree program characters are not that intelligent, there will be a lot of medical negligence, and these financially blessed Kenyans will now go to seek medical services somewhere else. It's unfortunate. People are traveling for medical tourism in India. The best university in India is almost number 700 in the training of doctors in the world. Nairobi University is number 170 in terms of training of doctors. So you wonder, why do you move from number 170 to go to number 700? It's because their system of education was not diluted by commercialization of education. I also predicted that there will be collapsing of this building, and I think you have seen. Mm-hmm. The other who are poor will go for herbal medicine because they cannot afford conventional medicine. You have seen Loliondo. That time we did not even have the Makini herbal clinics. I wish you go to that KTN. So that is something that is passion to me. I think if we have to succeed, we have to retain the public universities. Mm-hmm. That time there were only 7 public universities. Surely, if this idiot have a lot of money, they can access all the private universities. They can access other universities outside the world, outside Kenya, all over the world. So why how many universities are in the world?
Very many.
And this rich person can access all of them. But this poor person can only access 7 public universities. And then bado nalete hiyo mjinga mwenye ako na pesa kuleta hapa ndani ya hii 7 public universities. Kwani serikali imekuwa ya nini? Unajua serikali is a merry-go-round. Tunalipa taxes, tunakupatia kama serikali ili utujengee what we cannot own individually. Utujengee university because everybody, Dr. Kingori cannot have his own university for his kids. I have my own university and everybody have his own university. You build for us roads because I cannot have a road private from Narok to Nairobi and another person his own road or his own road. So kama unaleta tena ile public enye tumekupatia pesa ya kujenga, unaleta tena private watu wenye wanaweza jilipia, si waende kwa universities zingine kwa ulimwengu mzima. And even Kenya there were hundreds of private universities. Sasa hii 7 universities peke yake nilikuwa namwambia Moi, jameni. And Kenya almost 20% ndio wako na pesa. In fact 10% of the population. And 10% of the population ndio wako na pesa wataweza peleka watoto wao kwa universities, hundreds of them in Kenya and thousands of them all over the world. Hii 90% ya the poor Kenyans wana access to 7 universities ambayo ilikuwa public university. Mm-hmm. Sasa wewe ni kama mtu mzima unaenda kungangana na puji ya mtoto. Ama unaenda ile munyo ya
ndio sasa nakuuliza wewe unaelewa. I'll not mention names. We have 4 presidents, whichever. Why? And no fool can make it to that seat, president. So I'll not mention a specific president. Why wouldn't an intelligent leader implement a policy that would put them in good books in history?
I don't know. Hii nimeshintika kwa sababu angalia hii barabara kutoka Uhuru Highway, Wayaki Way, all the way to Kitaro. Is a 6-lane highway. with a brick wall, ukuta katikati. Lakini wajinga in the Ministry of Transport wanaeka bumps ili magari ipunguze speed, ndio watu wa cross waende waruke ukuta. Yani wewe hii akili yako unabebewa, yani are you doing this one to annoy us? Ama what type of thinking are you? The design of Uhuru Highway and Wayaki Way all the way to Kitaru was that watu watakuwa cross kutumia underpath. These idiots from the Ministry of Transport wameweka bumps over the underpath, kuambia wananchi mzibitie ile kalabati ya chini yenye mmetengenezewa kama hii ya cross between Nairobi University main campus na upande ile ya halls, mzibitie hiyo, mkuje mngangana na gari in the 6-lane highway, na baada ya kungangana na magari uende uruke ukuta. You know, there are two ways of human traffic across the highways: underpath and footbridges. These idiots have put bumps under the footbridges and over the underpath. Sasa mimi nakuuliza, hiyo akili ilikuwa mteja ama ni nini? This is an economic sabotage. This is a corridor called the Northern Corridor of East Africa. Millions of vehicles wanapita hapa. Wewe ukipita hii njia ya Uhuru Highway, Wayaki Way all the way to Kitaru, jam imeongezeka, na jam biko tu pahali wameweka bumps. Brake pads enye inakuwa replace kwa sababu ya breaking unnecessarily, kwa sababu an idiot from the ministry ameona pesa ya haraka ya kutengeneza an avenue of corruption, ameenda kuweka bumps even without kuchora ndio ionekane. Accidents zinapatikana huko. Mapikipiki sasa wana cross. You have reduced vehicles on the highway. Hii idiots tusipoongea nao wa ministry, they are on their way to the expressway kuweka bumps. That's how stupid they are. That is how idiots they are. In fact, saa hizi a lot of trucks ya Uganda, ya Rwanda, DRC, they have migrated to the Central Corridor ya kutoka Dar es Salaam, Moshi, all the way to Kigali, Bujumbura, Kigali, all the way to DRC. Na kenye nawafukuza two things: bumps ya wajinga wenye wanaweka over the underpath and below the footbridges, na police roadblocks. My friend, after every 5 kilometers unapata roadblock, wana inspect gari yako. Kwani insurance yenye ile ingine 5 kilometers away imesha expire hapa katikati? Kwani nini imeche? Jesus Christ. Hii Wayaki Way all the way to Kitaru, after every 200 meters bumps. You know why? Because wako na ujinga ya inzi. Inzi tu ndio mjinga, hawezi ongoja chakula yenye naiva pale kwa moto. Inzi tu ndio ujinga yake inampeleka afuate corpse huko ndani ya kaburi. Sasa kwa ujinga kubwa yenye wako nayo, wanaona wakijipatia tenda ya kutengeneza barabara, it will take a lot of time. Lakini kuyaga bumps unaweka leo jioni, kesho asubuhi inaitisha pesa.
Bas. Na hiyo ni one of the reasons. Kuna mtu nafuata sana anaitwa Dr. Thomas Sowell, one of the top economists in the world. He's 95 years old by then now. Alisema government, watu kwa serikali, they make stupid decisions. Reason number 1 ni hiyo umesema, incentive ya pesa. Ya pili ni they do not have personal liability to bad decisions.
Exactly. Kwa sababu wanaenda na ndege.
Yes.
Mimi nikienda pale I can, yani Uhuru Highway, Wayaki Way to Kitaru,
na hakuna kitu itawafanyikia.
I will break almost 1,000 times because of bumps. that means the lifespan of my brake pads will be half. The lifespan of my shock absorbers will be half. So if 1 million vehicles have their lifespan of their brake pads, half the lifespan of their shock absorbers, that is an economic sabotage. A whole East Africa economic bloc, economic sabotage. Simply because somebody ametoka kwa kijiji ambao kondoo ikigongwa na gari, kesho wako na mawheelbarrow, wanatengeneza bami ya matope juu ya lami. Unaleta hiyo kijiji mentality into the city ukiwa Minister of Roads and Transport. Haki ya Mungu nao watu tusipoongea nao wanaelekea expressway,
wanaenda kutufanyia makosa. So a few things before tufunge. Nataka tuongelee IALA kidogo, East African Legislative Assembly. Your love for the color green and your relationship with money. Unajua there is a balance. Tulianza tukisema you have interacted with poverty at the cradle of poverty. Umekuwa kwa umaskini mahali inaanzia, and a quote associated by you ni hakuna combination mbaya kama umaskini na ulemavu. When do you first taste money and what was your strategy? Of course najua ni education, lakini pia hiyo education before upone hapo university, and this is a special dedication to comrades. Ulipona aje and what is your relationship with money?
Money ni sabuni ya roho. That is my relationship with it.
Yes.
It is the only friend I have. Mwenye hata yeye niacha ni pesa. Ngori hata wewe ukiingiliwa saizi hapo ukiambiwa Sankok ni mbaya, hata hiyo ulemavu sijui imepata namna gani, utanichukia. Lakini pesa yangu itanisaidia because I can still buy your loyalty. Hakuna kwa ulimwengu wote ya Mwenyezi Mungu kitu mbaya kama combination ya poverty na ulemavu. Because Dr. Kingori, ikifika wakati wa kuoa, kama uko na pesa, msichana anafuata hiyo pesa yako. Kama hauna pesa lakini uko na six packs, msichana anakuita Ben 10 na anafuata hiyo six packs. Ukiwa hauna pesa na una hiyo six packs, there will be darkness at the end of the tunnel and at the beginning and the middle of the tunnel. Kutakuwa giza kila mahali. Mimi, my friend, I was almost becoming inaitwa celibacy ama inaitwa nini, mtu mwenye
celibacy, mtu mwenye hana
aguzani na watu kama wale kina nan,
nature induced dry spell.
Yes. Sasa since I was born almost up to the age of 20 something, 22 actually, 22 to be specific. Usho ukikaribia mtu akiniona nimekaa chini kama saizi tumekaa na wewe, unaona ananifanyia hivi macho, ananisignal. Nikiamka tu na crutches. Wala Sangale primary school ilikuwa hivyo. Kericho high school ilikuwa hivyo. Ikifanya ananifanyia hivi. Kama unajua nikikaa chini. By the way, I'm handsome from upward. Kwa sababu niko na rangi ya pesa na wakati huo bado sijachapa kama saizi. Nilikuwa kama nyanya ya wakati ya mvua. No one admire all of them. While I was seated down. Nikiamka tu waone niko na crutches. Wana disappear. And I remember one instant in which kuna msichana tulika na primary. Marafiki kabisa na ni neighbors. Mpaka tukakuwa wazima. Mimi nikaenda university ya kufaulu sana kwa masomo. So siku moja nikakutana naye amekuja kuchota maji mtoni, na mimi nimelete ng'ombe yetu ya babangu ikuje ikunywe maji mtoni. So tunaona kwao pale na kwetu iko pale. Both homes tulikuwa tunaona. Nikamwambia mimi sasa imefikia wakati wa kuoa. So kama ulikuwa unataka at least traditional way, I will tell my father to approach your father. Kama unataka ile ya kisasa, we can start dating, courtship. So akaniangalia hivi akaniambia, Sankok, kwa sababu naonanga mimi nakusmailia, unafikiri ni mapenzi. ni huruma ndio nakuoneanga huruma because of your disability.
Alikwambia tu hivyo
direct. Akaniambia Sankok, kwa sababu mwenye ananioa during my wedding day, I want somebody who will take me to honeymoon and carry me to my wedding bed. Utabeba crutches ama utabeba mimi? He? Sankok. Angalia kwetu. Permanent house ndio ile. Land Rover 109 ya grey ndio hiyo inasimama hapo. Tinga ndio hiyo. Haro, jembe ya tinga ziko hapo.
Na umesimama
Planda iko hapo. Tuangalie kwenyu. Nyumba ni ya matope. Na afadhali kama ingekuwa matope na imesimama straight. Na by the way kulikuwa na kaukweli hapo. Si nyumba ya mama yangu ilikuwa imebed sijui naenda wapi. Akaniambia wapi chuma yoyote, tinga, lori, Land Rover, nini yenye uko kwenyu. Chuma kubwa yenye uko kwenyu ni shoka ya mama yako. Shoka, axe na hii crutches yako. So unaona kama mimi ni mjinga nitoka papa wewe Sankok. I'm telling you.
Na ulinyamaza unasikiza yote.
Kasikiza yote wakati amemaliza nikamwambia my sister. Because now you have become my sister. 3 things. 1, ukiaya approachiwa na mtu mlemavu kwa sababu wewe ni very beautiful. You are the queen from the north. If a person with disability approach you in this manner, don't remind them of their disability. We did not prefer to be person with disabilities. Umenichoma pahali. Na roho ya binadamu ni kama glass. Once you have put a crack, haitaishikana. Hata ukifanya nini? Hiyo crack itakuwa inaonekana. Hii crack umeniweka ndani ya roho, itaonekana maisha yangu yote. But I will still survive out of it. But don't let another person with disability go through this. Kaambia okay, kwenyu permanent house, matinga, magari iko pale. All credit to your father. Kwetu matope, shoka ndio iko, crutches ya Sankok, all blame to my father. Mimi na wewe, the only competition tumeshai shindana ni ya shule. And I got an A. Straight A's, my friend. Number 1 in Kericho district. Number 6 in Rift Valley. Number 23 in the country. Na wewe rafiki yangu, uko wapi? The same way I will treat you tukienda huko kwa maisha ya kawaida. Na I know you will admire me one day. But kwa sababu ya hii maneno machafu umesema, utashindwa kuniambia. But you will one day admire me. And today, I still believe anani admire. Kwa sababu siko mbaya pile.
Uko sawa.
Sasa siku hizi niko sawa na gari iko sawa. Na unajua kuelewa, unajua hata aliniuliza kama hii disability ni mguu tu ama sasa yeye ajui. Sasa zingine energy can never be created, neither can it be destroyed. So hii mguu ikikuwa paralyzed, hiyo nguvu
inaenda mahali.
It can be transferred because energy can never be created, neither can it be destroyed. It can only be transferred. That is physics. So hiyo ikaisha kama hiyo. Swali lingine ambao umeniuliza ni mambo ya rangi ya green.
Sasa hii ni umaskini, umepigwa mpasho ya umaskini.
Yes.
Sasa hapa hakuna pesa.
Yes.
How did you manage to break the chains of poverty?
Yes. I can tell young men, especially comrades. Mimi hata saizi, I wish you will interview my father. He never paid even a coin for my university education. And I'm a person with disability. Nilijisomesha. Na nikasomesha bibi yangu. Even with my disability. Babangu hakunilipia sio kwa sababu ananichukia. Hakuwa nayo. At least they managed secondary through a few fundraisings ambao watu wengi walinichangia, including somebody called Mwanik, Sururu and others. And I thank them forever. But when it came to university, of course, pesa sasa ni mingi kwa sababu inatakiwa ya accommodation, ya chakula, ya school fees. So nikaamua tu wacha, and that's why one of the reason why nilienda carpentry, because sikujua ndakuja kusurvive aje. So in case kama sitaweza, although nilikuwa nimeshapita secondary na nikapata A, nikishindwa wacha nitengeneze viti na niuze. But luckily enough, pesa imejaa huku pote.
That's a very strong statement.
Imejaa.
Pesa imejaa pote.
Ni wewe tu ku-identify na kutumia akili yako. Wacha kuogopa kutumia akili as if ni bomb italipuka. Tumia kabisa kwa sababu umepatiwa na Mwenyezi Mungu. So there is physics form 2. A principle in physics form 2. A bigger circle rotating a smaller circle. The smaller circle will rotate very fast and with very many revolution. Kwa nasikia kama ni wimbo. Lakini mimi ni pesa. You know, hii kitu ya kunoa visu is my own invention. Is my own innovation.
Hii ya kudansi ya kina Njugushi.
Hii ya kuendesha hivi kunoa visu hivi.
Ni wewe ulitengeneza hiyo?
Is my own innovation. Using that physics principle. Nikajaribu kuanalyze pale kwetu kwa Maasai Land. Kila Maasai mwanaume ako na njora, kisu. And nobody want to carry njora kama iko blunt. Anataka ikuwe sharp.
Yes.
Na sasa wakati huo walikuwa nanoa wakitumia mawe. Na kitu kingine ilitolewa na wazungu kama mawe ambao ni rough hivi ama file ndio wananoa nayo, which will take a lot of time. Wakati niliona kuna a circular kitu inaitwa grinder ambao wanatengeneza nayo mamlango, unaona sparks zimetoka kama moto. Nikaenda nikasema hapa wacha niende jua kali pale Kikomba. I explained to that jua kali artisan. Nikamwambia nataka hii gurudumu ya baiskeli, rim ya baiskeli tutumie kama bigger circle. Alafu hii ingine tutumie kama smaller circle. Alafu tutafute venye tutaweza roll kama ile ya sharahani. Tuweke hiyo kamba ya sharahani isungushe hii kakitu. Alafu badala ya kuweka kisu hivi ni kuwekelea tu hivi na hii kitu inazunguka. Na nikamwambia my right leg is paralyzed. Kwa hivyo hii kitu ya kuendesha weka kwa left leg na ni moja. Unfortunately Wakenya wamekuja kukopi my own innovation, na ni kama watoto ambao unawapatia wakopi exam wanakopi mpaka jina. Unaona mtu anaendesha na mguu mmoja, wewe uko na mguu mbili, idiot. Si uendeshe na mguu mbili ndio itakuwa hata faster. Unaona unaendesha na left na naturally ni ya right.
Hiyo kitu inakuwa na mguu
moja, you know, na ni ya left. Na ni mguu ya right ndio hata inakuanga strong. Hata saizi ukiambiwa pigana unatumia tu right. Most people are right handed.
Yes.
So even legs, right leg ndio inakuanga na nguvu. Lakini kwa sababu mine was paralyzed ilikuwa ya mguu mmoja na nini. So wakati tulitengeneza the whole machine, grinder was 600 shillings. Hiyo kamba ya sharahani ilikuwa 25, tukanunua 3 of them, so it was 75 shillings. I used rim yenye imetumika ya baiskeli, tulinunua na 50 bob. Jamani nilipa 150 kazi yake pamoja na machuma yenye amelete, kwa sababu wakati huo vitu zilikuwa cheap. Mimi mwenyewe kupelekwa mpaka Suswa livestock marketplace, na gari ilikuwa inaitwa California, ilikuwa inaenda Narok, nililipishwa 150. Total ilikuwa 1500 ili nifikishwe pale. Kufika pale ilikuwa mwezi wa 7. At least jua ionekane. Wacha sasa waanze kuona sparks. Moto inatoka nikinoa. Walishangaa ni mashini gani? Kila mtu na njora yake ilikuwa inapangishwa laini. Na mimi sikuwa nacheka na mtu. Nilikuwa nalipisha 20 shillings wakati huo. Na walilete
kila siku huko.
My friend. Mpaka mwingine anakimbia kwenda kuleta mishale. Mwingine anakuleta mkuki. Mimi ni hivi tu. Mpaka mguu na nyorosha hivi kidogo.
Hautaki mtu karibu na mashini yako.
Hapana, wasijue. Sinaona amekuja kujua na wakanipeleka out of business. Hata sio hiyo mimi kwa. Ile bucket ilijaa 20 na 55 ile unajua ile 55 ile kobole.
Yes.
Ile akibaki yenye ilikuwa inaonekana ikuwe na hata itaweza stua watoto. Ile kona 5.
Ile ilikuwa Moi na Kenyatta.
Silikuwa zimejaa bucket mzima. Kubaba siku hiyo ndio utajua mashilingi na kwa mzito. nilikomboa watu kubeba. I made 20,000 na hata hii grade hata jaona
in one day.
Yes,
na invention ya 1500
ndio hiyo. Mimi Suswa Wasongoro market ndio sababu nilifungua clinics huko pote, because I saw money. So mimi nilikuwa naenda weekend nikirudi university, mimi ndio kusema, and that's why I became even son president, na nikafungua duka kama bado niko university yenye moja alikuja kuchoma.
Lakini au fungui ingine, ni mguu yako ya left ndio unafinya nayo.
Kufinya kwani saa hizi mimi naendesha gari non stop from Kenya to Kigali 17 hours non stop, na ni mguu ya left tu ndio nafanya kazi.
Lakini lazima utengeneze pesa vizuri kwanza.
So pesa iko kila mahali. Alafu tena there are so many ways of making money.
Yes.
Unaona wakati yenye January ng'ombe wa Masai imekonda, they are very cheap, watoto wanaenda shule, ndio hiyo ng'ombe wanauza ndio watoto waende shule. Watu Nairobi hawakuli nyama, kwa hivyo wanunui hiyo ng'ombe, so market hakuna. Watu wa Nairobi walitumia pesa festive season, wanakula mboga, kuna activities mingi. So ng'ombe there is high supply kwa sababu watoto wanaenda shule, wengine wenye wameingia ukulima wanataka kuuza ndio walipe tinga ya kuwalimia shamba na kununua mbegu ya mashamba. So there is high supply and low demand. Mwezi wa 8 the opposite is true. Wild beast migration. Wazungu wamejaa Masai Mara, wameleta dola, Masai hauzi ng'ombe. Government wamesoma budget. So a lot of activities in hotel kwa sababu wamesoma June. So every parastatal liko busy, nyama inatakiwa. Wamasai wanavuna ngano, wanavuna mahindi, wanavuna bali. Why sell again the cows? So low supply, high demand.
Study
the same cow you sell 3 times the price.
Study the seasons.
Mashamba siku hizi mimi nanunua, mtu ananiuzia shamba 300,000 Kenya shillings in the highlands. Ile miti natural yenye ziko huko mimi nangoa. Nalete kama kuni ya kupikia watoto chakula shuleni. Already napata karibu hiyo 300,000 kwa miti tu yenye zilikuwa tu pale. Alafu mimi napanda blue gum, yani eucalyptus. Eucalyptus Michuki alituambia inakunywa maji, naye mimi nikaambia Michuki, kama mimi niko na mizizi ya kunywa hiyo maji, basi niko na haki ya kuwa na wivu. Lakini kwa sababu sina mizizi ya kunywa maji yenye miti nakunywa nayo, sina haki ya kuwa na wivu. Napanda hiyo eucalyptus. After 8 years, kila miti either kama kuni ya majani chai ya factory ya majani chai, ama kuni ya kupikia watoto chakula shuleni, ama kama mbao, kila miti nauza 7,000. So kila eka after 8 years ni 5.6 million, na nikikata hiyo miti bado itamea tu. Saa hizi niko na 120 acres ya eucalyptus. That one is translate to almost 96,000 trees. Times 7,000, my friend, wakati yenye ndaanza kuuza 2028, that is 672 million. Nikinunua helicopter, don't tell me I know your salary. You know my salary namna gani? Pesa imejaa huku. Pesa imejaa. Pesa iko mingi. Imejaa. So comrades, mimi nilijisomesha. Na ni hiyo kitu ya kunoa visu, mara nimefungua kaduka. Kidogo tu. Nimenunua ng'ombe wakati wa kiangazi, January nini, mwezi wa 8 ndio hiyo ng'ombe mimi naachilia 3 times the price yenye nilinunua nayo. Nalipa nayo school fees, nalipia bibi yangu. Nilikuwa nimeoa, kwa sababu unajua by the way, si unasikia huyu mwingine alinikataa. Huyu mwingine nikadanganya, sijui kama aliona kama hii mguu imeteguka. Unajua aliona kama ni dislocation. Sasa kabla hajajua hii ni permanent, na mimi nikahakikisha hata yeye amekuwa dislocated. Mtoto ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu, hivyo mfululizo. Nakuwa written off. Nani anataka mtu mwenye akona kirende ya watoto population yenye inajaa nasari? Basi tukakaa sasa, tunakaa tu, hakuna ataenda wapi. Unajua ni kujipanga, badala ya kupigana na condition yako ni kujipanga,
kupambana na tamu.
Kujipanga tu.
Now I'll have to say this at this point. You are one of the most interesting people I've ever sat across. And that said, what influences the love for the color green?
If you follow my history, wakati nilikuwa na clinic Narok, Loita Lab Medical Services, Siku moja floods zilikuja na ilibidi nipitie kwa ceiling nisibebwe na mafuriko.
Ulikuwa na crutches?
Na nilipandishwa na wafanyikazi wangu kwa sababu mimi nafanyanga kazi na watu vizuri. Nasikiza nao. Anaitwa Eugene na mwingine anaitwa Agi Nzomo. So akaniinua na tukapanda kwenda juu ya ceiling. Na tukiwa juu ya ceiling kuna nyumba ilikuwa karibu na sisi, ikabomoka, watu 15 walikuwa juu yake, wakabebwa na hiyo mafuriko. Na pia nimeona ng'ombe zingiangamia kwa sababu ya mafuriko because of climate change. So nikivaa suti ya green, it is a coded message to mtu kama wewe ukiniuliza na kuambia let us make our country green. We can only make our country green by planting more trees. We have to conserve our environment. If we don't conserve our environment, the nature will hit us in a way that you'll never understand. I've given you the two scenarios. Me going through the ceiling and also the number of livestock we have lost. In the last drought, pastoralists lost 2.5 million cows only in one drought. So you can imagine the devastating effect of us not planting our trees. And the second thing is branding. Any successful business, any successful person in this world must brand. Because brand is a level of confidence. That utanitambua, nikifanya makosa, I'm ready to stand with my makosa. Lakini wale wenye wataki kutambulika ni wale wakora, wenye wakitaka kuambiwa nilikuwa na msichana mkiingia hoteli fulani, unasema hapana kwani ni nini? Ulikuwa na nguo ya black. Ni mimi tu ndio nafanga nguo ya black, but me I'm ready to defend nguo ya green, ni Sankok tu, so nikifanya makosa I'm ready to defend. So it's a level of confidence and it is also branding. I think it is sure that there's a yellow that if you see, you know it is DHL. There's a certain color that if you see, you know it's Equity before even you read the name. There's a color that if you see, you know it is Kenya Airways. So the big companies normally do brand. Unajua Chelsea, unajua Arsenal, unajua namna hivi because of branding. Human beings also brand. Trump have branded with a hairstyle. Jomo Kenyatta branded with a fly whisker. Jaramogi Odinga branded using that cape. Moi branded using Arungu. William Ruto branded using the Kenyan cape. So all of them have branded. And after branding, you create a name. So Raila did not have to brand because already Odinga is a branded by his father. Gideon does not have to brand because Moi have already branded. Uhuru did not have to brand because Kenyatta is already having been branded by his father. And Nick Ruto does not need to brand because already his father had already branded. For me, I did not have a father who have branded himself. My father is still alive and he have never been a chief. He was just a peasant farmer. The highest position he ever got was in a traditional Manyata. He was given a leadership position of dividing food among the women folks. So I had now to brand. My son, engineer William Ladama Sankok, does not have to brand now because his father have comfortably branded for him. So he's also a brand. Okay. Lastly, patriotism. You have seen me with the flag of Kenya when I was in the Parliament of Kenya. Now it is the flag of East Africa together with the logo of East Africa because we have to be patriotic.
And what do you do in that East Africa?
Because we did not apply to be born in a region we have been born. If it is a Kenyan, you did not apply to be born a Kenyan. Destiny and fate have brought you together with other Kenyans. You have to love this country, to be patriotic. Because we have to learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. That is the words of Martin Luther King Jr. So for me, I have to brand. And, it was you journalists who used to be patriotic. You used to have songs in radios, in TVs, every time before news, then you will sing patriotic song. Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu. Nowadays, what do? You give us music that we don't even hear using our ears. We feel it using the vibration from the stomach. Kamati ya chini, I don't even know who is being kamated. So I don't understand. So patriotism, that is it. That is why I love green.
Exactly. But the East African Legislation Assembly.
Yes, of course. So far, when I went there, we were 5 countries. We are so far admitted another 3 countries. So we are a total of 8 countries. We have approximately 350 million people. We have 1.2 billion acres of land, which is arable. We have 6,500 kilometers of coastline, more than 38 freshwater lakes. We have the largest and the second largest water tower in Africa, the Congo Belt, together with the Mau Ranges. We have the longest river in the world, that is River Nile. We have the second largest freshwater lake in the world, that is Lake Victoria. So having the grasp of our economic bloc as East Africa, and being sandwiched between Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean and the Gulf of Eden, meaning if we have to do business with Europe and Middle East, we can use the Gulf of Eden. If we want to do business with the far west, that is North America and West and South America, we have to use the Atlantic Ocean from Kinshasa. If we want to do business with the Far East, that is part of Asia, China, India, then we can use the Indian Ocean through Mombasa and Dar es Salaam. Having that grasp, I've so far introduced 4 major bills which have passed. One of them is the Blue Economy Bill, and you have seen how blessed we are in terms of blue economy, 6,500 kilometers of coastline, more than 38 freshwater lakes, the rivers, I cannot mention them again. And I've also introduced the banning of importation of leather products so that we can be able to set factories within our territory because investors will come, the raw material is there, and we have the young population, so the human capital, we have it in plenty. I've also introduced the banning of importation of furnitures. You can imagine with the largest water tower and the second largest water tower in Africa, we are still importing furniture from a desert peninsula like Qatar or Dubai. So we have to use our skills and the human capital because furniture factory, you only need a hammer, mishumari, msumeno, chisel, clamp, board, vitu kidogo. So I also introduced the bill on use of local currency in our intercountry trade, because it's unfortunate that in our hotels in Nairobi, they will tell you their price in terms of US dollars. And if you go to New York or Washington, D.C., they will never tell you the hotel price in Kenya shillings. That is political, socio-economic neocolonialism. Those are the yoke that I have to break. Lastly, when I introduced that one, it was a precursor for us to implement the monetary union pillar of having a single currency. And we already have a name of the single currency called the East Africa Pesa. Lastly, why we admitted other countries, we want to expand the East African economic bloc. We are now trying to admit Ethiopia and Sudan, Khartoum, and even Zambia, so that we have 3 or 4 strong economic blocs in Africa: EAC, ECOWAS, IGAD, and SADC. And this will be the building blocks of the United states of Africa. That is the dream of our Pan-African forefathers. And I've taken over the dream, and I'll make sure that it will be realized in our lifetime.
Asante sana, and I'd like to propose that if your schedule allows again, I would like to invite you back on the show to discuss the opportunities in the East African region, because I believe there's so much there to go into.
A lot.
Asante sana for making time for us. I've enjoyed this conversation immensely.
Again, are you a gynecologist or when daktari ya nini?
Kwani daktari ni gynecologist peke yake? Because umekwama tu hapo kwa ng'ombe na gynecologist.
Hao ndio wanatusumbua sana. Mtu anakuambia kaa pale hadi mimi naingia private room na bibi yako na anakuambia anaenda kufanya examination inaitwa VE. Wewe enda uliza VE ni nini? VE.
Nauliza rafiki yangu ni daktari Dr. Ken Alwora, alikuwa gynecologist akakimbia kwa plastic surgery.
Alafu baadaye mtu anakaa huko kwa hiyo private room consultation ati 1 hour. Alafu anakuja kama ametoka na jasho na anakuambia lipa for the service. Sasa service
daktari si yako kazi. Si amechoka. Kwani
anakuambia nimeduka shindano sasa. Hii shindano
ni shindano gani? Asante sana.
Asante.